Hi, Mark. Yeah, it is Thursday, July the 30th. US session is now underway. And let's have a look how the markets are shaping up this morning following yesterday's FOMC meeting. And the rates were kept on hold, as was consensus and expected. But I think the big outcome yesterday was from the new Fed chairman, Walsh, who pretty much changed the traditional and old status quo in terms of FOMC meetings and the Fed as an organization that always gave us guidelines as to future decisions. And he made it quite clear, Walsh, that the markets will set their own agenda. And that is certainly unsettling, uncertainty, and that's exactly what followed in the markets. Worst thing for the markets, as you know, is uncertainty. And the market sold off yesterday. Let's have a look. US dollar index. There's the big sell-off yesterday. So far, continuing today. I've got resistance at 189. I've got support at 142. Top support level has been tested before. We'll see whether sellers add to the sell-off we've seen so far through the Asian and into the European session, whether that selling continues or if we get a bounce. US dollar bounces back from strong to weak and bounces up off this level. Interesting as well, note that this current support level was a previous resistance. That was the end of March of this year. Resistance becoming support, always significant, as you can see. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. Bearing in mind we're looking at the futures market for now. Still a good hour and a half till Wall Street opens up. And there you can see the attempted bounce back today. Also strong support here yesterday following the announcement. Equity markets sold off. I think the uncertainty again, and you can see the support at 7,355 set yesterday has been tested before. It's been tested since May unsuccessfully. Held there yesterday. Buyers stepped in at that level again earlier today, and right now sitting at 7,402. We'll see whether there is a demand for equities. If equities can bounce back, get back up to our resistance sitting at 7,487, or if this sellers finally break through this stubborn support area and break lower. We'll see once the US session is now underway, once Wall Street gets open. Let's have a look at gold. Gold yesterday, we saw US dollar sold off, equities sold off. Gold did show some strength, some resilience yesterday as kind of safe haven status in its own right. You can see that yesterday, green candlestick was pretty narrow and within the same range. $4,000 level held yesterday. The support was tested all the way down to 3,992, but did bounce back off that 4,000 level, has continued that bounce back so far today, tested lower earlier, but has bounced back. I've got support at 4,026 and I've got resistance at 4,095. If I do zoom out, I'm on the daily. You can see the succession of lower highs, which is held. That's why we have the strong downtrend. And let's see if buyers do continue today what they started yesterday, and they get back up to this previous level of 4,160. And I think a break above that level, which would be a break above this descending trend line, might just be a start of some kind of real reversal on gold. But for now, sitting pretty tight in this range. We'll see now that the US session is open whether buyers can maintain. And also inverse relationship, weak US dollar, strong gold is pretty much what we're seeing to start the US session. Let's have a look at Brent oil. Bounced back yesterday. There you see the bounce back yesterday, and today sitting pretty much at yesterday's close. Tight range for today. I've got support at $86.72. I've got resistance at 89.60. Has come off a little bit since that resistance. You can see the wick left behind here. Again, waiting for new development, new rhetoric out of the Middle East. We'll see if the aggressive rhetoric continues from either side or both sides, and that will add to the strong uptrend we saw last week. There's the sell-off to start the end of last week or beginning of this week, where it looked like a settlement had again been reached, a ceasefire as the parties negotiate. We'll see which way that goes today. Any good positive news? That means red candlesticks selling, the price coming down, uh, re, renewed or a return to the aggressive stance and threats from either side, and that again ends up being green candlestick and the price going up, and certainly we'll be looking up at that $90 level or higher. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin fighting back today. There you can see been in this tight range for quite some time now, pretty much between $63,000, $65,000. That's where we've been sitting. I also have in this descending trend line, which has been in place. I put that in the middle of the month, 21st of July. Let's see if buyers can get up and test that level. That's what it's looking at right now. Testing resistance at 64.8 thousand. I've got support at 63.4 thousand. We'll see whether this demand for Bitcoin continues, can break out of this downtrend we're seeing, come up and test this descending trend line, get back above 65, 66,000. Let's see if that can be maintained today, or if sellers do step in, bounce down off this resistance area or this descending trend line and look back below the 65, 64, back to the 63,000 area. Good trading, and I'll see you at end of day.